Come on, James, it's game time. So grab your Hanes, lace up your Nikes, take your Wheaties and your Gatorade, and we'll grab a burger, I think, on the way to the ballpark.
Yeah, let's get them. I think it's actually a Big Mac, but product placement and all that sort of stuff.
Oh yeah, that is Big Mac.
Big Mac.
That's just that's just me not being able to read my writing again.
Oh no. Sounds good. Let's grab all them then. How you doing?
I'm good. So you're probably guessed because of the basketball and the introduction that we're going to review the classic 1996 sporting cartoon crossover movie Space Jam.
Yeah, some great memories on this film, which we're going to talk about. And I'm just wondering as well, Colin, it's just me and you today. So it is. So what's wrong with Paul and Daniel today?
I think they've possibly had their podcasting powers taken away by aliens.
Maybe. I heard they had a serious case of the Up Doc.
What's up, Doc?
Yay! There you go. The prop would come in handy.
I had a feeling you'd have a carrot. I actually considered getting a carrot out of the fridge, but then I think it was the last one we had, so I didn't want to waste it. So my screen name is Stan, assistant to Michael Jordan, but my name's actually Colin, and we've also got Foghorn Leghorn joining his real name.
I said a boy, it's James.
So we're Seismic Cinema. We believe in the power of escapism on a Sunday morning, and our big goal is to help promote as many different independent artists as we can. So that could be podcasters, directors, screenwriters, musicians, whoever it is. If you're wanting us to give you a shout out on the air, or you want to come on and talk some movies, TV, then just give us a shout.
Aye, definitely. Like, share, subscribe, all that sort of stuff. And you fancy coming on, then give us a bell and we'll get you on to talk about whatever you want to talk about, film, TV, or football. Later on, we'll discuss that.
That's a spoiler.
Sorry, man.
Yep. So you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Threads, of course, and TikTok. So make sure you give us a follow, like, share, etc. And you can watch the podcast on YouTube and also Spotify, where it has video. And you can also listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Audible, Amazon Music, and all those other places where you listen to podcasts, unless it's one that we haven't been on yet. If that's the case, let us know and we'll try and get onto that as well.
We're still sitting at 99 subscribers on YouTube, Colin. I'm happy about that. So if you could be that one person to get to the 100 in the 100 club, then that would be amazing.
And they win this basketball signed by me.
Oh, maybe if I could touch the basketball, I can have all my skills as well.
Give it some computing powers. So recent podcasts, we've been focusing on Ahsoka. I reviewed episodes 1 and 2 on my Todd, and James here joined me for episode 3. We're taking a wee bit of a hiatus so we don't become a one-trick Star Wars pony, but I think the plan is we'll come back at the end of the season and give an overall season review.
Yeah, definitely. I'm up for that, man. Still haven't caught episode 4 yet. I've heard amazing things about it. A few people have said it's the best in the series.
I've heard amazing things in advance for episode 5. Apparently, I don't know. I think it might just be in America. They're actually showing it in cinemas.
Okay.
And Dave Filoni is directing it, who created Ahsoka for Clone Wars. So I'm looking forward to episode 5.
I'll try and catch episode 4 today after this podcast to try and get caught up with it. But I did hear Craig on what's the script saying it was the one that's saved it, because I don't think he's too keen on it. So I'm interested in that.
Cool. So this is the start of our new themed month. So we did a few theme months. We did Mighty May, focusing on superhero movies. We did Jump Scare June, focusing on scary movies. July and August, we've just been kind of getting back into things after a wee hiatus. And then we're doing sport in September. So we're going to start off with Space Jam this week. And then we're going to be joined by Project Football podcast, and we're going to review Dodgeball next week, which is a film I've seen, but I've not seen in a few years, so I'm looking forward to checking that out. Following week, we're going to be joined by Casting Views podcast, and we're going to review the original, one of my favourite films, The Karate Kid. And at the end of the month, big exciting announcement, we're going to do our first ever football podcast under the guise of Seismic Soccer. And I'd just like to point out this is a joke based on alliteration. As Scottish football fans, we don't actually call it soccer, but we couldn't resist the alliteration.
Aye, so don't pull us up for that. It's football or football. But I do like the name Seismic Soccer. Go for it.
And we haven't really decided the focus yet. I'm keen to do retro football. Others are keen to do kind of modern football. So if there's anything in particular the people listening would like to hear about soccer or football, then let us know.
Aye, really up for anything regarding that. Because it's always good to get different opinions and different things, and it's good to go a different direction to try and get people as engaged as possible. Obviously, football and soccer is good. So for me, anyway, it's always a big passionate fan. So also interested to get different people's views on it.
Now I'm looking forward to it, and we could wear different football strips each week. I've got a good range of international football tops in my wardrobe.
I do not have international. Then I've got a few club ones, some Rangers ones, a lot of Rangers ones, and the English one, Chelsea, not England international.
I look forward to it, but that's time to get into Space Jam. So I thought we'd just start off with a wee bit of a kind of background, not kind of going into the plot details as such, but just what's your earliest memories of the movie, and have you seen the sequel, etc.?
It was 96. It came out. I was 11, and I went to the cinema to see it with my dad, and I just loved it. Just brings back a lot of good memories for me. Hadn't seen the film in ages, but it's always one of those films because I watched it when it came out in the video VHS back in the day. That I'd just continue to watch it. Rented it for the shop as well. Do you know what I mean? So it's one of those films when I turned it back on, I would remember quotes from it, and I was surprised how much I remembered from it as well. But when you're young, when you watch these films and that, you just kind of do remember that stuff, don't you? So it's very nostalgic for me. I was very young when I watched it, and I watched it as well. But I was growing up with my brother at the same time, and we always used to do quotes from it and things. So it's a classic for me. Daft, but classic. But you definitely do. Obviously, as you're growing up, you're older, you do start to see different aspects of the film in a different lens. So something I'll talk about it. It's daft what it is, obviously, but there's a few things in the bit of trivia that I want to come on to talk about that might surprise people. I don't know, but I liked it, man. What about you, Colin?
Yeah, I'm the same. Like, I was 5 when it came out, but I do remember. I think I had the video cassette as well. And as you said, like when I was watching it the other night, and I watched a bit of it again this morning, I would be like in my head remembering or predicting the next line, and I was quite, as you said too, I was quite surprised that I did remember it in that kind of level of detail. I think Paul mentioned on Twitter the like Pogs used to get.
Oh, aye.
I'm pretty sure I had quite a lot of Space Jam ones from memory. I didn't go and see the new one. I was really excited about it at first, but when the reviews started coming out and speaking to people that had seen it, I was like, it doesn't sound that great, and I didn't want to kind of tarnish my memories of the franchise. So, be interested to hear from those listening what their views on the sequel is, because they've not been that great overall.
I've not seen the sequel either. To be honest with you, I don't know. Well, a lot of films, it'd be a remake or a sequel. I sometimes don't really want to ruin what my memories were the first one. Do you know what I mean? So I tend to stay away from them, and I didn't hear any of the reviews of it, so I think I will just stay away from it, because the original was the best. I mean, I don't care if people think it's good or no. It's the best, you know. Aye.
Anchorman 2 still scarred me.
Well, I can't even remember Anchorman 2. That's how much it. Well, I need to remember it. You know what I mean? So nah, definitely not. The first Anchorman's quality. We need to review that at some point.
Yeah, I'd be keen. That's one of my favorite comedies. It's also like a film that, like, do you know, a lot of people, or quite a lot of people, have multiple favorite sports or like a second favorite sport. I don't really have one. For me, it's just football. There's no other sport I'm that interested in. But if I was like pushed to choose, it's not like I watch it, but I would maybe go basketball. And I think a big part of it would be my memories of this film.
I know what you mean. I don't think. I mean, I watch American football, so I do watch that, but I'm not like religiously watching it every Sunday. Do you know what I mean? I watch it if my team's the Philadelphia Eagles, just purely because they're always sunny in Philadelphia. That is the only reason why I would back them. But I don't go out my way to watch it. I go out for the Super Bowl on occasion, but generally the Super Bowl falls on a school night, and I can't do that. So if I had to pick one, American football would be that one. But I know what you mean, no, because football's our national sport, isn't it? So
yeah, I know. There was another, just a wee cheap plug here. Myself and Paul reviewed the Adam Sandler movie Hustle a year ago. Really good movie for anyone who's not seen it.
I enjoyed that. I was really surprised how good that was, because you don't tend to see Adam Sandler in a serious role. I don't really rate Adam Sandler all that much, if I'm being honest with you. But I was good in that. I'll give him his dues there.
Sounds good. Right, so before we get into the main review, just talk about some seismic statements. So any like trivia or just kind of background knowledge you have on the movie. Do you want to start us off, James?
So I've written a few things down. So as I said, watching it again the other day, I didn't realise, obviously being younger at the time, there's quite a lot of film references in this. So for example, the modern here, so there's ones where we've got the Mighty Ducks, and Daffy Duck wants to call the Toon Squad the Ducks. What kind of organisation would call themselves the Ducks? Well, the Anaheim Mighty Ducks. So that was quite a good film reference there. There's also the one where we've got.
Were they not owned by Warner Brothers?
Aye.
Ducks, yeah.
Aye. They were. Aye. Also the one where there's the Pulp Fiction theme as well. I think can't remember when that is, but definitely the Pulp Fiction theme is in that film. As well, when the Michael Jordan, before he gets sucked in the golf hole with Bugs Bunny, obviously Bugs Bunny's under the grass, the ground, with a magnet, with the ball, and Bill Murray says, "It is alive," referring to Dr. Frankenstein. So there's a few more as well. I just can't remember off the top of my head now, but the other three I had wrote down. I've got quite a few film references that I would have picked up when I was younger. Do you know what I mean?
You do pick up on a lot more at this age.
I also read, before I let you jump in, that at the end of the film, when Bill Murray appears in the basketball court, and it's like, "How did you get here?" And he goes, "Well, I know one of the producers, being Ivan Reitman, and Ivan Reitman was the director of Ghostbusters." So that was quite funny. That
it's very meta. Like the characters are very self-aware, both human and cartoon.
Aye, definitely. So what about yourself, Colin? What's a trivia of you?
This one was a good Space Jam Star Wars crossover, actually. The voice of Daffy Duck, Tasmanian Devil, it was D. Bradley Baker. So he's the voice actor who voices all the clones in the Clone Wars and Rebels and Bad Batch.
All right.
Because in Bad Batch, it's basically one actor that does like the 5 main clones. So it was really cool to find out that he was in Space Jam as well.
So is he like the Seth MacFarlane of Clone Wars then?
Yeah, he's
Aye.
brilliant. Like you said, you hadn't watched Bad Batch yet, but just his range, because he voices the clones in the Clone Wars series as well. So I thought that was pretty cool. Something I mentioned on Twitter was, how did this ridiculous concept become such a cult classic? But I didn't realize it was actually based on Nike ads. So there was fake, or not fake, like make believe names like Hair Jordans and Aerospace Jordans. So it was like Bugs Bunny and Michael Jordan fighting against Marvin the Martian and things like that. So that was kind of where the idea came from, like these commercials.
Aye. I think it as well. See that when how your opening statement about grab your Nikes and things. I think at the same time as well, Michael Jordan was like he was endorsing them at the time. I think he was like
Yeah.
the person that was, on the commercials or the adverts as we call them.
It's funny because he pure rolled his eyes when Stan was rhyming all that off.
Aye, I know. Oh, I like Stan.
My third one was about the Anaheim Ducks, which you mentioned, and how they were established by Warner Brothers. I thought this one was quite interesting from an animation standpoint. You know the scene when all the Looney Tunes are gathered in like the kind of theater when the aliens arrive.
Uh-huh.
So they just had one section that was like the Looney Tune characters, but then they just copy and pasted them essentially around the room
Aye.
to make it look so full.
That's right, aye. No, there's a few things like that as well, even when the big basketball game at the end, like the arena's packed.
Mm-hmm.
I think there must be something like that as well during that scene. Aye.
So yeah, that was the seismic statement. So we can just get right into the review then, like what we liked, anything we didn't like, memories, gags, just be references, as you say, like same as when you watch like Toy Story when you're older, you do pick up on like different wee themes, etc.
Aye. A lot of stuff that I'll need to go through what I don't like, because there'll be a few things that I don't like, but I focus on the positives now, man. You know what I mean? So, for me, I think that one of the best things about this film, right, is Stan.
Yep.
It's just the the comedy of it all. The Looney Tunes are obviously funny as well. Do you know what I mean? But he's just so funny. And do you know where he's from, Stan?
No.
No, he played a character called Newman in Seinfeld. Do you ever watch Seinfeld?
I've not watched it, but I'm obviously familiar.
Aye,
Like,
so he's
the
like
concept.
he's Jerry Seinfeld's neighbour, and no one likes him pretty much. He's like a wee annoying guy, and pretty much the same character in this. You know what I mean? But he's just he's hilarious, man. So I really liked his character in it as well. He's also, by the way, in Jurassic Park, the very first one.
Yeah, you're right.
Aye, so he's in that too. Aye, so I like that. What else did I like about it? I just like the whole kind of idea of bringing you said it, real life characters with the cartoon characters and just can mix them together. I don't. Obviously, there's the Who Framed Roger Rabbit as well. Had been done before, or had it been done before? Was that later? Can't remember now.
I think I know, because I was reading a bit of trivia where one of the characters was gutted missing out on that film.
All right.
So I think it would have came first.
Aye. Well, I just like the idea of them, having to interact with the cartoon characters. It's quite. Okay, it's quite good. I like that. Maybe yourself, what did you like about it? And I'll cut
Well, it's funny because when you're talking about Stan, obviously I put him as my screen name, although he's meant to be annoying and the characters diss him quite a lot. He's probably one of my favorite parts of the film as well.
Aye. I like the idea when Michael Jordan was down the golf hole, he was just digging and digging, like as if he's going to find them, and it's just that the hole is that size now. When you come back to him later on, it's massive. And then, when you go, man.
It's funny because when they introduce him, he's like, his job is to make Michael Jordan's life easier, but you can tell that Michael Jordan and other characters are annoyed by him. So by doing his job, he's actually making their lives more difficult.
He's the best publicist around, isn't he?
He's funny. Like, he's just that kind of underdog character that you find in a lot of these kind of movies.
No, I know. He was Bill Murray as well. He was good in it for the short time. For the short time he was in it. But Stan for me was the best. Just what he said, and he's just his actions as well, his mannerisms and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? It was good.
Yeah.
Man.
Something I liked, as I mentioned, when we're doing the trivia, was I love like kind of meta situations and shows, and it was like the bit when the kids are watching the TV show and the Looney Tunes are like stopping their episode to have a meeting about this alien invasion. So it's just like, although it's such a ridiculous concept, they don't shy away from that. Like the Looney Tunes are laughing and making fun of the little aliens,
Aye.
the same way they like human characters are laughing at the concept of the Looney Tunes. So I just thought it was quite good because I think for this concept to work, they had to play it like that. If they tried to take it too seriously, I think it would have struggled.
No, definitely. I did like that comparison, the way that we look at the Looney Tunes and then they look down, but look differently on them.
Yeah,
that's a good way of looking at it, man.
because
I did like the monsters. I did like those characters. They were just, weren't exactly from intelligent life. Do you know what I mean? That's what we can all. There's intelligent life out there somewhere. Nah, there's not really. That's what we're served up with. Do you know what I mean? So aye, and then we've got the boss from the monsters, who's played by or voiced by none other than Danny DeVito.
Yep.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that until I know that voice.
I know, I recognise it as well because
I know that voice.
It just takes you back to Matilda.
See now, not even for me, man. See, it takes because Matilda was about that time, wasn't it? But because I was Sunny in Philadelphia, that's him for me now. Do you know what I mean? He's in that, and I can't see him in anything else other than probably Batman Returns.
See, if you're a big Always Sunny fan, does that mean you're also a big Wrexham fan?
Well, I was actually. I followed the Wrexham programme for a while, and then you kind of get caught with it because I was rooting for them to get up to League Two. Do you know what I mean? Aye, so I did. So by default, I am a Wrexham fan, but aye, no, good that they got promoted.
I've got quite a serious take on this film, viewing it through a 2023 lens.
Right.
See the basketball players losing their mojo and losing their skills. Do you not think that's a wee bit symbolic of the struggles professional athletes go through when they retire or towards the end of their career? They kind of just start to struggle, and like they obviously in this they go to like psychics and therapists, and I think just to me it's a bit like, if you looked at it from that view, it wasn't the aliens that took their power, it was just them getting towards the end of their career. It's them struggling to adjust to the end of their career.
That's a interesting point, actually. I never would have thought about that, but you're right. Because now, because it's 2023, isn't it? You kind of realise that professional football, basketball, whatever it may be, whatever sport you do, that is your life. And they say it's a short career. So what do you do after that? And then there are folk who struggle with it. Do you know what I mean? There are folk who can't get to grips with what they're going to do with their life now, and maybe that's still a skill they had. They've lost the skills. What do they do now? So I'd never really thought about that. It's an interesting point. Do you think that the writers, creators?
I think there might have been, because obviously they wanted to make it comedic in terms of how they lost the powers through the power of the shiny basketball, but a big part of the film is Michael Jordan's post-basketball struggles, how he struggles with the baseball and ultimately goes back to the basketball at the end. So I think there could be some truth in that.
maybe because obviously it's based on Michael Jordan. At the end of the day, in
Mhm.
terms of what his career kind of went to, but aye, maybe like I said, I thought about that, and because I've just took this film and I thought about it as how I watched it when I was younger. Never in a million years would you have thought, that's quite symbolic of what could happen to the professionals
But
nowadays,
I
or
likened,
back then as well. Do you know what I mean?
yeah, 'cause I don't think you've not watched Ted Lasso yet, have you?
No.
So there's a character in that. I won't name the character, but they're coming towards the end of their football career and they're really struggling with injuries and form. And there was a scene. Remember when he goes, what's it? Is it Barkley?
Charles Barkley.
Yeah, he goes to like a kind of street basketball
That's right. Aye.
court, and like he's struggling, and he like they're making fun of him and things like that. So I don't know, because I watched Ted Lasso and that was obviously a more serious bit, but the guy ended his career. It just made me think like maybe there is some scope in that.
Because Charles Barkley goes to the basketball court just to kind of go, hey, you're Charles Barkley, and he's like playing basketball, and then he can't dribble or he can't shoot or whatever,
Yeah.
can't pass the ball, and he goes, you're not Charles Barkley, be gone, wannabe, be gone.
It's quite sad. Like I obviously, when you're a kid, you just watch it, and obviously I'd heard of Michael Jordan. I didn't realize when I was a kid that he actually did like a lot of this Michael, apart from the Looney Tunes part, is true. Like he did play baseball at the end of his career. Like he didn't do that well with it. I'm right in saying that, am I?
Did the Looney Tunes know harm?
No.
I thought it did. You're right. Aye, it's happened. Aye.
It's quite interesting watching it this time round because obviously I was paying more attention. You pay more attention when you're going to review things,
Aye.
and the fact everyone's just been so nice to him, even though he's awful at it, because they're obviously just such big fans of him.
Aye, that bit was good. He's swinging for the ball, and it's like, don't swing, curveball, don't swing. And he strikes out. Everyone's going like to him. Hey, Michael, that's brilliant, Michael. if I want to strike out, I want to strike out like that. That's good.
It's a great film.
Did
you watch? It's not one we're going to do this month anyway, but you should definitely check out Air if you're kind of into like the Michael Jordan story, because it's on Amazon. It's really good.
Everyone says that. Is there another one as well? Like, is it something dance? So Netflix.
Last Dance. That's more of a documentary series about his career. Air's about how it's more from like Nike. Michael Jordan's not really in it that much. It's more about how Nike got him, signed him,
right,
and like the creation of the Air Jordan.
I see.
I really like it from like a business focus. I was wanting to show it in class until I looked at the age rating. It's quite a lot of F bombs, unfortunately. So
can't be having that, mate. Aye.
I know.
But maybe get maybe snippets from it, like even just wee bits that might be part of your course. I mean, I don't know. It might be relevant, but
no, it is. It's really good. It's Matt Damon and Ben Affleck. It's a good cast.
Was it?
Yeah.
All right, didn't know that because they two work well together.
Yeah.
Obviously, all the Kevin Smith and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean?
Good Will Hunting.
Aye.
I'm pretty sure Viola Davis plays his mum as well.
All right.
Could be wrong in that, but
let me check it out.
No, it's good. I enjoyed it. We got quite deep there. Let's go back to the more lighthearted aspects of it. So I thought the Looney Tunes were just hilarious. Like there's talking about the kind of self-aware aspect. Remember when they go to get the Michael Jordan's like kit from his house?
His Lucky Shots.
And is it Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck they go?
Bugs Bunny, I think it's Daffy Duck, aye.
And they're just talking about, he's like, oh, have you ever seen any of the money from the merchandising rights? He's like, oh, we're getting screwed here.
That's right. No, they were just great, man. Looney Tunes. See, growing up though, I don't think I remember like overly watching Bugs Bunny and that. I mean, like they'd run in the morning.
I've kind of like forgotten about it, but now I look back, I think I was really into the Looney Tunes because I watched like the TV shows. Like I don't know if there was movies. I had I used to play like the Tasmanian Devil Nintendo game and things like that, and I'm pretty sure I had like a Game Boy Color game that was based around Looney Tunes as well, or
Okay.
whether it was that or something else, or like Sega Mega games.
I,
So it was something. They're hilarious, even as
I,
like.
I don't really remember watching Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck per se, but I remember watching Wile E. Coyote and Roadrunner. And they
Maybe
in particular, do you know what I mean? I don't know if it's my dad or no, that made me watch it. I don't know, but it was. I just remember they two being more prominent. Walk-on, Leghorn as well.
I
It's
always
just,
liked the Tasmanian Devil. I
aye,
like I like the scene when he he tidies up the court and goes lemony fresh.
aye. Bit shine, lemony fresh.
A lot of I had a bit of an interesting journey rewatching this because I tried to rewatch it during the week, watch quite a bit of it, but I tend to get, particularly during the week, quite dozy when I'm watching something. Like even if I'm enjoying it, I sometimes find myself starting to nod off a bit just because I'm tired. So I rewatched like the first hour across like last night and today, and I filled in my memories of the kind of last half hour just through Wikipedia because
Aye.
I never managed to quite get that time to watch the whole thing. So, what are your kind of memories? Obviously, you rewatched the whole thing, I assume, because you're better at staying awake than I am. The kind of last half hour, so like the basketball game and the conclusion, like,
Aye, the
what are
main
your thoughts
event,
on
isn't
that?
it? Aye, so the main event. It's funny watching it now because that the first period, well, the first half of the game, the One Stars were like they should have won the winning match, and then you scoreboard went off the chain. Obviously, it's Looney Tunes, and then they come back and it's like when there's 2 points in it or something like that. Do you know what I mean? I did like it all. The bit in particular where Stan goes into at half time. Stan goes into the changing rooms and he's in the lockers, kind of eavesdropping. And the boss comes in because they don't know the boss is watching, and they go, "Oh, how did you get so how did you get so good?" type thing. And then so they tell that they stole the skills off of the NBA basketball players, and he finds out, and then they go and they kind of teach Stan a lesson, so to speak, and they go and tell the Looney Tunes about what they did, and then that's why he goes, "Oh, that's why they're like that. Then that's why they're kind of not being themselves, shall we say?" And then after that, Bill Murray appears, and I think that the last half an hour of the whole thing was it rushed? I don't know, but
It's quite
I
a
don't know.
quick film, isn't it?
Aye,
You get to the big game quite quickly.
aye. I just feel it is. I think it is rushed, but I don't know what else to expect. I mean, it's
It's
a
a movie for
cartoon.
kids, though. Kids have
Aye,
short attention spans. I think an hour and a half is perfect runtime for. I
I
say
know.
for kids, for me as for me as well.
No, I think I don't know. Watching it, like I say, watching it now, it's like maybe what happened in between that time. Do you know what I mean? It's a cartoon at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean? So I can't be too critical on it. But it was good, man. Bill Murray, me stole the show. He's the NBA basketball player in the making, isn't he? And I did like the bit at the end. Michael goes back to him, "Yeah, man, you've got a real chance of making it in the basketball game." And he goes, "No, I'm going to take this time to retire. My first and my last game. I need to go and ice my knees now."
There's an
Um,
interesting similarity with him, his character, and Sabine and Ahsoka. She's got absolutely no force powers. He's got absolutely no basketball powers.
oh no, but he was good though. He did a few good moves. He even tripped up one of the monsters as well. It was good. I think the end part of it though, when they got, I mean, what happened at the end again? They gave the powers back and things, but they sent the boss back up to what's it called again? Moron Mountain, wasn't it? Moron Mountain, Moron
And
Moon,
the
Moron Mountain.
aliens, because although I was a bit dozy at parts, I still remember Michael Jordan's like outstretched hand.
Aye, but that's the way.
That's tying together Looney Tunes though and the basketball in it.
Aye, but he asked the question before that, didn't he? Though he's like, "Can that happen to anybody?" Because what happened was that the stand get flattened or something, or something happened. And Michael goes, "Well, can that happen to anybody?" And he goes, "Aye, you're in Looney Tunes," whatever he says. and that's when he's used his Mr. Fantastic Stretch Armstrong arms to dunk the basketball. So I liked it, man. It was I forgot about the stretchy Armstrong thing at the end, but it's it is what it is, isn't it? What can you say about it?
Yeah, when you're talking about Murray, I like the scene when Michael gets. Imagine you're out with your pals playing golf, and your pal gets sucked into the hole, and then 2 seconds later they're just like, "Aye, if he probably just ran away from Stan," and then they just proceed. He's like, "Right, I don't think we were in a good state of mind there, so we're just going to give ourselves a 2 for that hole," and
No,
then
but
he just proceeds to continue to like ask questions about getting into like because that's a recurring gag that he's trying to replace these NBA stars.
but it's when he gets sucked in the hole, man. And then Bill Murray turns to Stan and goes, "What kind of camera is that?"
It's funny you posted in the group chat about fixing a divot. Because I hadn't rewatched it yet when you posted that. I was like, it's a reference to something, but I'm not quite sure what it is.
What the hell are you doing? I'm fixing a divot. That's one of the lines I remember, man. Like, his day, do you know what I mean? Because he's trying to find Michael. What kind of camera is that? He's like checking the camera and things like, what's going on? What is he? Oh man, there's such loads of funny things in the film. It's that way where they go unnoticed sometimes.
Yeah, I liked a lot of the family moments. I vividly remember the opening scene where his dad's and he's playing basketball in the garden and his dad's like, you can achieve whatever you want, and that's when you get the bit about the baseball as well.
Aye, that's the opening scene, isn't it?
Yeah.
Aye.
Obviously some of the music in this film's been soured a bit by some things that have came to light.
Yeah,
but the soundtrack as a whole, it's a character within the film. See the opening montage of "Come on and jam," you know that bit.
Aye,
it lasts for like quite a bit, but that's an absolute belter of a tune.
The one that comes to mind for me anyway, that is the one where he just gets his basketball gear on and it's "Fly Like an Eagle," and he's just remembering how to do all these things. Oh, he remembered these are skills. I mean, these are what he's been doing all his life, and it's just that way. Oh, he's still got it type thing. And that "Fly Like an Eagle." That's the tune that I always associate this film with. Anyway, no,
the Space Jam theme was stuck in my head all day. I just found myself going around school just going, "Come on and jam."
Oh man, your basketball dribbling.
Yeah. It was good because I actually I had it on. I think I put it on I like to watch a wee bit of telly just when I have my breakfast before my shower in the morning, and wee Zachary Aliens, one of my stepkids was I could see him peering up over his Switch to kind of like look at it, and I asked him later on, I was like, "Did you enjoy it?" And he was like, "He's quite a hard crowd sometimes when it comes to new films, but he enjoyed it." So it's interesting to see that kids, kind of 9 years old nowadays, are still enjoying it.
Aye, and it'd be interesting to see as well, like what would be like compared with, because they would maybe kids nowadays would have maybe would watch the second one and they'd maybe associate more with that because it came out in a couple of years ago, didn't it? 1996, a wee bit dated, isn't it? So I think even though it's still cartoonish and whatever, I can't compare them both because I've not seen the second one. But it'd be good to hear it from them. And why would you prefer? I mean, my gut tells me they'd probably prefer the second one because of how the CGI and all would probably be a little bit different, a lot better. You'd imagine so.
Zachary just liked the Looney Tunes. He just thought they're hilarious.
Aye. And well, in fact, I might even have to watch the second one to can make it comparison now. I mean, I've asked myself the question, and I mean, so watch this space. So see,
succotash.
Aye, but
there was another because the kids in the movie aren't Michael Jordan's actual kids. I read, but they are named after his kids.
Right.
So I quite like the scene when they're watching the Looney Tunes in the house, and no, they're watching the baseball highlights, and they change it to the Looney Tunes. And when Michael Jordan changes the channel, he just goes beep beep
All right. Did not
when
remember that.
when the Wile E. Coyote's on the scene.
All right. Oh man, that's his wife, isn't it? Though it's in the film. Did I read
His
that? His
his real
actual
life
wife.
wife. I'm not
Aye.
sure.
No, I thought I read that.
One thing, and it's just a symptom of the time. Obviously, when Michael Jordan's in Looney Tune land, it doesn't look great,
No, it doesn't. And
but it's part of the charm, maybe.
aye, what's that? But we, it's just how how old we are and things. We enjoy that. Do you know what I mean, that's what it was. I mean, aye, it didn't look great, but what did you expect in 1996? Do you know what I mean? I don't know. It was a lot better films probably that had a better CGI involved, but it was Looney Tunes. Was it meant to be that way? I mean, that again, I'm going to compare it now to the second one. So what was that like? Was it better than it did before? I don't know because I need to find out. But I don't know what to expect really. If I'm watching it when I was 11 years old, I'm thinking this is amazing. Do you know what I mean? I don't know.
I was very surprised at the low scores for it on like Rotten Tomatoes. Like it's in the 50s.
Can we
But,
just
anyone you speak to, loves this film.
can we just rewind back a wee bit and what you call it? Rotten Tomatoes? Are you going all American on me, man?
Is it tomatoes then?
Tomatoes. Rotten Tomatoes. Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, I think I get sucked up in it.
I don't see the Rotten Tomatoes one. I know IMDb gave it 6.5.
That's low, I would say. Are we seeing it? Are we seeing it with just because we are of that era?
I don't know, man. I mean, I don't want to give my seismic star away just yet, but I mean, I've read some of the comments on it. I can understand some of them, but we'll talk.
I'm proper blinker though. I can't because you got to rate every film. Like there's not a scale of 1 to 10. Oh, there is a scale of 1 to 10, but it's not like you can't rate every. That's what we do on this channel. Is we can't rate every film against one another. You're not going to rate this against like Pulp Fiction. Do you know what I mean? You've got to rate it on its own individual merits.
I know. And if it brings nostalgia to it, then that's just what it is. I mean, it's every person's got their own views on it. So I mean, I wouldn't expect them 10 out of 10 to be fair, but I mean,
imagine pitching this film though. Right, we're going to have Michael Jordan, we're going to have the Looney Tunes, and we're going to have a basketball match against aliens. Like, you'd be laughed out of the room.
Well, I wonder. I need to go and find out some facts on it. I wonder how much money it made. In fact, that's something I'm going to go and look at now because people will be watching, and they're going to ask what it made.
I did kind of bypass me.
I was too busy focusing on trivia, and I forgot to write this down.
That could be your job.
Find out how much money it made.
You could be numbers guy.
Aye.
I've got it here.
Go for it.
Budget $80 million. Box office 250. So it made a bit of decent profit for the age.
Definitely. That's decent for the time as well. I dare say if it was out this now, it would have been a lot more. But again, that's decent. So it made its money back and then some. Do you know what I mean? So so whoever pitched the idea got a good pat back, I'd say.
Mm-hmm. It's mental now. Michael Jordan's 60, isn't it?
Honestly, I hate thinking about I read the other day, was it Christopher Walken's birthday or something like that, and he was like 90. Did I read that right? And I'm going, that's not kind of right, man.
Harrison Ford's 80 now. Do you know what I mean?
Aye, I mean, Have you seen the new Indiana Jones?
I saw it, yeah.
All right, I've not seen it yet. I don't think I want to see it because
I
of how.
quite enjoyed it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All right. I know Glasgow's in it, Glasgow City Centre, so I was like, might just go for, might just watch it for that. But I just don't know if I can take them seriously as well now, because you know what I mean. And plus, tangent here. Do apologise, but the Kingdom of Crystal Skulls was enough to put me off for life, man.
I've got good memories of that film, but not for the reasons of the film. Just we went to see it. We used to do activities week at the school, so we went to Alton Towers for like a day or two, and then the third day of that activities week, we went up to see Kingdom of the Crystal Skull at Braehead. So I've got good memories associated with being in fifth year with
All right.
friends going. Do you know what I mean?
Aye.
Apart from
That's
that
fair enough, man.
ridiculous fridge scene.
Oh, listen. I tried to forget as much as I could for that film. Anyway, back to Space Jam, man.
Any closing thoughts on the film?
Well, I enjoyed it, man. You know, I can't say anything else other than that. I thought, you know, it brought back a lot of memories for me. It was nostalgic, especially if my dad went to see it at cinema and things. You know what I mean? And definitely, not a film I've seen in ages though. Do you know what I mean? It's not a film I'd go back and watch every year, like I would probably do with a lot of other films. But it's good to go back and watch it again. 'Cause I thought, this is just thinking back to that time I was 11. And even remembering the quotes and stuff as well. Do you know what I mean? So, I thoroughly enjoyed the film, mate. I don't think I don't know. I think you maybe hold it in higher regard than I do, but certainly a good film nonetheless, mate. I don't know about yourself.
I'm younger than you, mind.
I know you're, mate. Aye, but
just in terms of the age I would have seen it, I would have been younger than you when I saw it,
aye,
which could have had an impact because of the kind of Looney Tunes aspect.
possibly, mate. Actually, aye.
What would your seismic star be?
A seismic star
Or
would
how
be.
many seismic stars?
I'm gonna give it 7 out of 10.
Okay.
Aye, 7 out of 10. I don't know, man. I don't know if it's because I rewatched it there and I thought there's some elements that are just silly and all that sort of stuff, and I'm not reviewing it through my 11-year-old self. Do you know what I mean? I'm reviewing it now as and I saw. I don't know, mate.
What did you think? What did you think was silly then?
The CGI maybe. Do you know what I mean? And just really, I thought the aliens as well weren't like. I liked them as the basketball players, the aliens. They were a wee bit funnier, you know, and I just felt the wee kind of worm aliens. That's what they look like.
Is that not the point though, that their powers transformed them into something quite formidable? Whereas if they'd been formidable from the start, you wouldn't have had that change.
I don't think formidable though. I mean, I understand that point, but I was just thinking maybe that I just thought they were funnier. I don't think it's anything to do with how they were playing. I just thought they were funnier and they were more like I could take it more seriously. You know what I mean? I know it's like a cartoon at the end of the day, but I could take it more seriously than these daft wee wormy things. No, not having that. So, and this is through my set right now. The line's through me now. So, I'm going to go with 7.5 out of 10. No, I'll go 7.5 out of 10. You've nudged me a wee bit more towards 7.5. That's my final seismic star, mate. What about yourself?
Bearing in mind, we're judging this just as we're judging Space Jam 1996. We're not comparing it to other films. I'm going to go 9.
All right, man.
Just
so, where did the
just
last start fall then?
It would just be retrospectively watching it, the kind of meshing of the live action and animated characters, but even that's not really a big criticism of the film because it's from 1996. Do you know what I mean?
Aye.
That's the only thing I would knock it down on, but just the music, the jokes, the 90s nostalgia, the feel good. I'm a big sucker just for a feel good movie. Like who can't enjoy a feel good movie? Obviously, sometimes you just want to have a wee cry or a wee scare, but nah, just a lot. a lot of good memories. I think it's a good way to kick off sport in September. So we'll get a couple of good ones coming up later in the month as well.
I think Space Jam was obviously a film we've not seen for ages, but it's a good, a different kind of review. It's more kind of cartoony. It's that whole kind of you called it a metaverse, didn't you, before? It's good. It's different direction we went in. So I definitely enjoyed the review there. Eh?
But it's quite good because we've got basketball, dodgeball, karate, then football. So we've got a good spread of sports for the month.
Aye, even though I did try to pitch in the Mighty Ducks films in there, but it didn't get taken up. They're probably my favourite sport films.
We had a couple of guests in the past that had expressed an interest in dodgeball and Karate Kid, so we thought it was a good opportunity to get them on.
Listen, I love dodgeball. I love the Karate Kid. So, and dodgeball is probably one of the films I could quote from start to finish as well.
I don't remember that well, but I know it's one of Paul's favourite comedies.
Nice.
But I'm obviously it's on. I checked it up. It's on Disney Plus, so I'm going to rewatch it.
I think
tonight or tomorrow night.
Just going to have to say to you, I think Disney Plus has got a lot of the stuff missed out. So if you've got a DVD,
I think I've got the DVD. I've actually got it on DVD as well. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there's a few bits missing for it.
Okay.
So I say so. I'll maybe just give that.
It's a bit more convenient watching it on Disney Plus because you can watch it in segments. But I do have the DVD. So.
Well, interesting point. Now, so if you watch the Disney Plus version, I could fill you in the bits that were maybe not added in that one.
I'll see how I'm feeling, but a plan would be maybe to watch it tomorrow night at the latest, because obviously we've got a small matter of Scotland versus England on Tuesday night.
Aye, I mean, what's the whole point in it? Really, is it a friendly match?
You don't get Scotland-England friendlies.
Aye.
Or Rangers Celtic friendlies.
No, we don't. No. Okay, I'll take your points there. So is it Hampden? Is it in?
Is it Hampden? Yeah, Tuesday night. That's why we're doing the podcast on Wednesday night this week.
Nice one. I'll be there, mate. All right, okay.
I thought you were having a fitness test.
Oh, I was still with fitness. The fitness test is still there, mate. I'll do my best. The fitness test is scheduled. I think it's a good chance I'll be there, mate. Talking about 80% chance.
Cool.
So I make no need the injection after all. Right, well, we move on to
just the shout outs, yeah.
The shout outs, man. So we put the tweet out.
I don't think they call them tweets anymore.
What do we call them? X's? Is that what we do? Is that
probably,
right? Right. So we're going to review Space Jam. Quite a few shout outs, Colin. Drinks and Things podcast said, I remember being obsessed with this movie with a wee bit of digging around. Really liked Looney Tunes and thought it was the best movie ever. So obviously the 6 Leisha, I think. Yeah, Leisha. It was 6. So very much like similar to you then. I think that maybe a wee bit more blinkered in that regard. Being a wee bit younger than myself, and maybe the high obsessed the movie. Okay. The best movie ever. That's pretty high praise. More. So Retrotainment said it is the best film ever made. Okay. The Retro Praise said, easygoing, comedy nature of all the classic Looney Tunes shows up to keep children entertained. Quite a few adult jokes for older people watching it to enjoy without kids knowing. So a wee bit of adult humour in there as well. More from Retrotainment. An absolute star-studded lineup, including the biggest and arguably the second and third biggest names in basketball at that time, along with Larry Bird, a legend of the game, and then some big Hollywood names. An amazing soundtrack and fun storyline. We can't really argue with the soundtrack. The soundtrack was good. You've said that already. And more. Spooky Natural Podcast. Looney Tunes were huge in our childhood, and Michael Jordan was huge with everyone. It's just a very memorable, and plus it was funny. It was. SP Film Viewers, it's my guilty pleasure movie. I have such a blast watching it every time, and we covered an episode a while ago. We'll need to check that out, Colin. We covered a Space Jam.
Just a wee plug, I did an episode with SP Film Viewers once. We just talked about how we got into podcasting and how to go about starting. So
All
worth
right,
checking that out.
good. They've also reviewed Space Jam, A New Legacy as well. So they've done both of them. So if you're a Space Jam fan, you can go and check out SP Film Viewers as well. Also put it on my Twitter as well, Colin, and one of my friends, Gal, who is a big Trouble Not China fan alongside me, he mentioned the soundtrack as well, actually. And if I can find it now. I can't find it. That's embarrassing. He mentioned the soundtrack. He said it was one of the best soundtracks ever made to do with hip hop and things like that. So, so the soundtrack is good, albeit a few tracks.
Cool. Well, thanks for that recap. So that's just us reaching the end of the episode. So just make sure that you follow us as Seismic Cinema on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Threads, and TikTok. Make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube so we can hit the 100 mark, and that you follow us on other platforms. If you enjoyed this episode, check out our other episodes, movie, TV, rankings, interviews, and share with a pal. And next time, so this will be coming out on Wednesday evening. Well, from when we're filming it. And next week, as we said, we're doing Dodgeball, and then the Karate Kid, and then we're doing our much anticipated first football episode. So please make sure you drop us some suggestions about things you'd like to see us discuss there.
Yeah, I'm interested to hear people's thoughts on Dodgeball. For me, it's one of the best comedies ever made, but I don't want to give too much away yet.
Yep, so we're Seismic Cinema, and we believe in the power of escapism, but also we believe in really helping to promote our fellow independent creators.
Definitely. And if you do want to come on the podcast, then please let us know.
Or if you want us to just give you a wee promotion, so make sure you do engage with our tweets or X's about future films and shows coming up.